Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's your world champion here, and that's right, we are back with some more Dragon Ball goodness. Last time we had an arc review of the series, we talked a little bit about the Red Ribbon Army arc, talked about how Goku basically destroyed the entire army over there. We had Fortune Teller Baba, who had to help Goku find the final Dragon Ball in order to save Upa's father and all that, and hey, we had a nice little reunion with Gohan as well. So when we last left off, Goku was with everybody, and Master Roshi basically said, "Hey, you're far beyond my teachings. It's time for life to be your teacher." So he said, "Go around, travel the world, just don't use Nimbus Cloud." So adding just a little bit extra training for Goku in order to make his way to the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, which might be one of my favorite tournaments in the series. I don't know, we might have to come to that road when we cross it here in this video. So let's kind of start out here with the filler that we had. Now, I'm not going to touch too much on like each episode and all that, because like they're all standalone episodes, and I like how the filler is placed here, because we have Goku he's traveling the world and all that, and part of this might also be the whole Wukong brain rot I have right now because of that game and because of me diving into the story of Journey to the West and stories of Wukong. Each one of these episodes were basically a story of Wukong, like, oh, Goku meets up with a master and his little bitch of a son. These two guys named Terra and Plague, who they give a roll call, people don't answer, they go into this gorge, turn into liquid, get drank, and Goku just basically goes around solving these people's problems, and that's basically the gist of it. I think the one takeaway from all of this is an episode that deals with a being called Ino Shikacho, and you may hear that and think, oh, Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi from Naruto, right? What are they doing in my Dragon Ball? Why are they here in the 80s? Well, it's actually just a being. It's just like this big pig figure with antlers and little tiny butterfly wings. So very fun design with that. But we actually get introduced to Tien and Chiaotzu here. Now, they're going to be the main antagonists going forward in the World Martial Arts Tournament coming up. We at least get their introduction here just to see, okay, they're kind of thugs. They're people that don't really stick with societal norms and all that. They're here, they trick some villages and all that for money, and that's basically it. Those are the filler episodes. Again, I don't want to go too much into detail just because they're really just their own standalone episodes and all that, and I mean, especially if you're in the Wukong brain rot like I am, go check them out, because they are a lot of fun. Like, these are episodes that you could just put on randomly and be like, oh, I just want a little fun Dragon Ball adventure. And you get that within like 20 minutes. After 3 years pass, Goku finally makes it over to Papaya Island, and we're here for the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. And I said it earlier, and I'm going to keep saying it, this might be my favorite martial arts tournament. And it all starts with the preliminary rounds, obviously, but like we have these seeds planted already where like everybody's gotten stronger. We're waiting for Goku. Even Goku's kind of designed just a little differently. He's not as stubby as he was 3 years ago in the story. He's a little taller, but really not that much. Preliminaries start. We got the gang all together. Even Jackie Chun's here. We see Nam, and we get a little interaction with Tien and Chiaotzu here, who are, again, they're thugs. They badmouth both Yamcha and Krillin, with Chiaotzu calling Krillin bald and short, and a word that some people might get mad at, but hey, it was the 80s and early 2000s when the dub came out for this, so I'm just gonna sweep that under the rug here, everybody. But hey, everybody's got their own challenges here in the preliminary round. Like, I remember with the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament, they didn't really have much issue. It was mainly just like a, hey, Krillin, we need to kind of hold back a little bit and not show everything that we have right away. And it's kind of the same thing here as well, but there are a few challenges, or at least kayfabe challenges, if you will, where like Goku, for example, who has to face King Choppa, who used to be a world martial arts champion. We have Nam, who went up against Tien and got his butt destroyed by the man. Like, it was crazy. But like, preliminary rounds really just kind of go quickly. Everyone makes it through, at least everyone important makes it through, and we even have, the baddies and a couple jobbers to kind of even everything out. So going into like the quarterfinals here, we start getting this thing that kind of becomes a trend within Dragon Ball, where Chiaotzu or somebody will cheat to make the quarterfinals and the finals. Basically, they make the tournament. So Tien has Chiaotzu choose all the opponents. So he ends up having Tien facing off against Yamcha to kind of humble him a little bit. We have Jackie Chun taking on the Wolfman because, hey, Wolfman, or excuse me, Man Wolf. Apologies, I need to get that straight. It's Man Wolf because he's different. He turns into a man when it's the full moon and all that. So, excuse me, sorry, I don't want my head getting chewed off. Krillin facing off against Chiaotzu, and Goku facing off against a jobber named Pamput. Cool, neat, excellent. Let's just get right into the quarterfinals, because this is where we start getting the story. This is the story going forward. We start off with Tien facing off against Yamcha, and now this is still Dragon Ball, so both guys are relevant and both guys are strong comparatively to each other. And this match is fun, because like the whole time Tien, he's putting Yamcha down, obviously, because he's like, oh, I'm better, and that's kind of obvious after seeing y'all's preliminary matches and all that. But Yamcha does surprise Tien a little bit. He does get a few good blows in, especially with the Wolf Fang Fist and like this wolf blowing wind technique. They're kind of somewhat even. I would almost say, like, if we were to put it in like an RPG term, Tien would be like level 20, and Yamcha would be like level 15, where it's like, okay, you could still put up some sort of a fight, but there's like a 5-level difference there where Tien still got you. Man, I even struggle like saying that out loud now. Maybe it's more like level 20, level 12 kind of thing. It's like, okay, you got some strength, you're good, you got some skills, but you're still no match for me. Even the Kamehameha wave doesn't work. Yamcha uses his first Kamehameha wave of the entire series, and Tien just blows it back by using his own energy. Like, it's kind of cool, but in a way, it also shows that, okay, we're gonna have to be a little more creative when it comes to using our techniques, and especially something like the Kamehameha wave. And Tien, when he blows it back, he ends up, having it launch into the crowd. Yamcha just like jumps up into the air, and then Tien kicks him and then breaks his leg. Like, he didn't have to break Yamcha's leg. Yamcha was already defeated when he kicked him in the midsection and he fell. No, Tien broke his leg to send a message to be like, look, I am going to destroy all of you. I am not here to play, I'm here to win. I'm here to show you that I am a force that is reckoned with. I also like his comment too he makes. He's like, because he assumes that Yamcha is the strongest. Just wait until you see Goku. Maybe Krillin too. I would almost argue Krillin's stronger than Yamcha. So yep, Tien takes out Yamcha. Cool, neat, excellent. Our next match here is Jackie Chun versus Man Wolf. And this is basically a squash match. I mean, Jackie Chun just kind of toys around with Man Wolf and all that. But we find out why Man Wolf is so pissed off at Jackie Chun. It's because... Sorry. It's just so funny because, like, this is Dragon Ball humor and all that. So... remember 3 years ago at the 21st World Martial Arts Tournament where Jackie Chun ended up blowing up the moon? Remember that little thing? Remember that little caveat? Wonder what the consequences was with that, besides, the announcer being like, oh, no more moonlit strolls and all that, no more, decent tides and all that. There was some more consequence where apparently, like, people like Man Wolf or the Wolfman, anything like that, who transform at the sight of the full moon, they can't do that anymore. So, like, I'm sure with Wolfmen, they're fine with that, but Man Wolf, he was pissed at that. He was like, I used to be this handsome fellow, and I used to get all the girls and all that at least once a month whenever there was a full moon, but now that there's not any full moon, I'm just this Man Wolf for all of eternity, and it's all your fault, Jackie Chun. Jackie Chun ends up hypnotizing the guy, using Krillin's head, mind you, and the guy turns into a man for the rest of his days, and a very, very ugly man. He was not a looker. Again, not much to say from that because, again, a squash match, but it's nice to see that there are consequences within the Dragon Ball world, you know, because, like, a lot of people say, oh, there's no consequences because because the Dragon Balls exist. It's like, yeah, you're right, partially. Like, there's still consequences. It still sucks to die. Like, it still hurts. I'm sure that doesn't feel good. And whatever, that's besides the point. We got our next match here. It's Krillin versus Chiaotzu. Chiaotzu making his debut match and basically his only good fight. His only...
Wait a minute!
I might have to go back. I mean, I'm glad I'm going back to the series. This might be Chiaotzu's only fight we see. Because, like, the only other times he fights is in the preliminary round in the next tournament. He barely does anything against King Piccolo, which we'll find out during our next arc review. And even in Dragon Ball Z, like, he trains for the Saiyans to come, but then all he does is get blown up by blowing himself up against Nappa. But we'll touch on that when we'll get to it. This is Chiaotzu's only fight in the entire series, and it's against Krillin. And it's kind of cool because, like, Chiaotzu's like this doll figure, like almost like a mime too, in a way. So he doesn't express himself a lot, at least right now, because he's just like, he's trying to keep to himself, he's trying to keep good and all that, and especially with like Master Shen, which I didn't even touch on that. I am sorry, everybody. Why are like Chiaotzu and Tien such bad people? Why are they like so angry and frustrated at like Krillin and Yamcha and Goku? Like, it's not just a thing of them being assholes or anything. They are the students of Master Roshi's former friend and now rival, Master Shen of the Crane Hermit School. Master Shen wants them to just annihilate Roshi's students and all that. So that started with Yamcha, and now it's Chiaotzu's turn with Krillin. And I like some of the setup we had from some of this too. It's like, okay, Chiaotzu, like, we see this guy who is all bandaged up like a mummy and all that. Like, he's just chilling in the food court, and then like Chiaotzu's about to use an attack in the match, and we see the guy again, and he starts like feeling his wounds again. So yeah, it was Chiaotzu that ended up burning this guy. So we've already got some tension going forward. We're like, okay, Krillin, you gotta watch out, buddy, because this telepath is no joke. And we also find out too that him and Tien can fly. So getting them out of the ring is not a good option unless you like one-shot them enough to knock them out and all that. Yeah, this is basically a psychic versus a street smart person, because Krillin, he's very crafty. He's somebody that will use any means necessary to win a fight. So Chiaotzu, again, he's still talking his stuff to Krillin and all that, but Krillin, you know, as he's dodging these Dodon rays and all that, he's wondering, okay, how can I beat him? And he realizes that Chiaotzu, he's not the sharpest tool in this shed. So he's just like, hey, what's 2 + 3? And Chiaotzu, being the silly little guy he is, he's like, he has to use his hands in order to count. So that's Krillin's moment to attack. And it really helps too, because like Chiaotzu starts using like this paralysis move on Krillin where he can't even move, and Chiaotzu, you know, kicks him, does some damage and all that. But like, this is how Krillin's able to get around all of that, because he's like, okay, I need to like think a little smarter now with all this. So he ends up doing that a few times to Chiaotzu, like confusing him a little bit, and he's able to knock him out of the ring. So hey, Krillin wins and all that. The biggest thing from this, besides giving Krillin a win, is the fact that Chiaotzu was using a move known as the Dodon Ray. Now, if you cast your minds back, what was Mercenary Tao's move? What was one of those moves? Dodon Ray. Yeah. So Goku kind of puts 2 and 2 together. He's just like, oh, Dodon. And Tien, who's like right there in earshot, is just like, wait, what? How do you know this technique? What's going on, Goku? And Goku tells him, he's just like, yeah, I fought and killed Mercenary Tao. Big whoop, want to fight about it? And Tien doesn't want to fight about it. He's just like, oh, oh, I need to tell Master Shen, because apparently Master Shen and Mercenary Tao are brothers. Like, they're brothers. So now we've got even a deeper reasoning for Master Shen to even want revenge and everything. And he even like states it too during the arc. He's like, me and my brother were never really that close, but he's my brother, man. Like, I can't let this slide at all. Goku needs to be taught a lesson. Like, all of Roshi's students need to be taught a lesson. You already started with Yamcha by breaking his leg, and now Chiaotzu's failed against Krillin, but whatever. Tien, you're gonna destroy all of them. So that's basically the match with Krillin and Chiaotzu. Again, fun. I like, again, seeing how Krillin is able to outsmart somebody and use his own wits in order to win. Even trying like Kamehameha wave and all that, it's at least something to distract and all that. And we see how he does that later on as well during his next fight. We're gonna finish off the quarterfinals with another squash match too, with Goku versus Pamput. Now, the anime kind of added some filler to kind of pad all this out, because hey, this was only like a one-shot deal for Pamput. Like, he gets in the ring, gets one shot by Goku, and that's it. Like, that's all she wrote about Goku versus Pamput. So we're gonna move on to the semifinals now. But actually, before we do, the anime kind of plays around with time a little bit, because like a few days actually go between the tournament and between like the rounds and all that. And after Master Shen had learned that Goku had killed Mercenary Tao, he tries to kill Goku and is stopped by Tien, who's just like, hey, I want to do this in the ring. I want to humiliate him. You need to let me have this. And Master Shen's like, you know what? Fine. I trust you, my student. So what we're seeing here already is just like, there's some cracks within Tien. He has honor and all that. And we also see too, like, especially when he's alone with Chiaotzu, Tien is basically the biggest mother for Chiaotzu. But Chiaotzu is like the one thing that grounds Tien. And so we've seen that like, Tien's not really this full-blown killer that he keeps saying he is. He's somebody that actually has a heart. He's actually a decent person at the end of the day. And I like how this ties in, and this goes right in to Tien facing off against Jackie Chun. This is where I start being like, all right, this is why this 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament is my favorite tournament arc, at least of Dragon Ball. So Jackie, he puts Tien to the test. You know, they kind of go back and forth a little bit, both kind of playing around. I mean, Tien's playing around is a little different. It's more like just holding back. Whereas, you know, Jackie Chun, he's a playful guy. The whole time, he's able to kind of push Tien back a little bit, and Tien's able to, you know, almost counter everything Jackie throws at him. And it gets to a point where it's just like, because Master Shen, he's been around for a while, you know, he's no spring chicken and all that, but he realizes, this guy, he's good. Why haven't I heard of him before? This is weird. And he kind of starts putting two and two together, and he does this thing where he is just like, hey, look at all your adoring fans. They're loving you. They're cheering for you, especially the hot ladies. And Jackie turns around, and I like the gag too. Like, he turns around, and the first woman he sees is like this big, like hulking, ugly woman. Like, winks at him with a hard eye. Like, ooh, you're cute. Like, oh, no. But that's when Master Shen realizes, oh, this is Roshi. He tells Tien, like, this is all telepathic too. He's like, Tien, that's Master Roshi. Do not hold back. Mess him up right now. Things kind of start intensifying. Like, Tien goes in for a kill, and Roshi, you know, pushes back. And he even talks to Tien too. He's just like, look, you're not a bad person. You're just following the wrong path. You are bowing, and I love how he says that. You bow to a false master. You are no killer. Get the chip off your shoulder. Like, you're fine, dude. You are good. Just don't listen to him. Just don't listen to him. You can be so much better. You have so much talent. You are an awesome person. And if anything, Roshi even tells Tien, you're my successor. You are the next Jackie Chun. You are the next Master Roshi. You can be that. But you're following a shit person. Like, this dude is making you into something that you are not, because you are not a killer. I can tell deep down you do not have the killer instinct that somebody like Mercenary Tao does. And Jackie Chun even he mentions this too. He's just like, you have a conscience. And again, it ties into Chiaotzu too. Like, that's what Chiaotzu is in this series. Chiaotzu is Tien's conscience. Because without Chiaotzu, again, Tien would be too far gone. And we see that happen later on in the series, but that's whatever. That's besides the point. Roshi ends up doing something crazy here, because he has this short little conversation with Tien, and kind of planting those seeds of doubt again within Tien to make him really question the path that he's on. And in order to emphasize that, in order to put like a good exclamation point onto that, Jackie Chun just walks to the edge of the ring, jumps down, and gets a ring out. He throws the match. And this is effectively like the death of Jackie Chun, because Roshi formally retires him and all that. And this leaves Tien stunned, because he's like, I didn't want to win like this. Like, this is not what I wanted at all. But like, Master Shen's just like, look at what you did. Freaking Roshi, he ran away crying. You scared him so much, Tien. Good job, student. But Tien's smarter than that, because again, he is do I dare say prodigy? Do I dare say prodigy? I dare say prodigy, because like, Tien is that damn good. He is that in tune with mainly other people's emotions, and that's a high quality warrior right there, being able to like read, like, or at least look deeper into somebody like that. And they end up continuing their conversation into the next match with Goku versus Krillin. And this is just like, this part here is done really well. It's done so good, because like,
by the end of this, you are going to be crying like a little bitch.
I almost got emotional right there, people. I almost got emotional right there. Like, I love how this match is structured. First of all, it's Goku versus Krillin. Two people in the same school, with the same master and all that, testing their own skills. And that's the point of the World Martial Arts Tournament. And like, Roshi even says that during his talk with Tien. He's like, it's dangerous to give such a young person the title of master, because that'll go to their head and make them become something that really they shouldn't be in the world of martial arts. I mean, that kind of ties into like Mr. Satan and what happens with him and how his personality is. But we'll touch on Mr. Satan when we get to Dragon Ball Z. But it's like, he tells Tien why he does the facade of Jackie Chun, because again, he wants to be the wall, so that way his students don't get complacent. They need to know and realize there is always someone stronger than you out there. And he just kind of lays it into Tien again. He's just like, look, I want you to train with me. I want you to follow a better path for yourself, because I want you to become something greater than you already are. Because again, you're bowing to a false master. Again, I love how this conversation happens during Goku versus Krillin, because when Tien goes back, he's watching the match and seeing them go forward with it, and like, he's being a little more emotive. He's a little more surprised too. He's slowly realizing that maybe the path he's on is not the right one. Like, he should not be killing Goku. He should not be getting revenge for Mercenary Tao, who also abused him as he was growing up in Shen's school and dojo and all that. And then just the fight itself, it's really good. Like, some of the best choreography you'll find in Dragon Ball, really. And it just shows Goku and Krillin too, because it's like, Goku he genuinely wants to fight Krillin. He's not gonna go all out. He's not going to. But like, the point of Goku doing this, and like, I'm just having this epiphany right here, right now, in my mind as we are recording this. So you are seeing a live like breakthrough here. Goku holding back like this, especially with like a friend or a rival like this, he is testing them. He's making sure that they can reach a level and all that. Like, he is trying to make sure that they can be stronger than themselves, because he knows I think deep down, Goku knows he is way stronger than like Krillin or Yamcha or anything. He at least wants to test their skills and see where maybe he can improve and all that, you know, because there are some times where Goku does get surprised. I mean, Krillin does at one point end up grabbing Goku's tail. I mean, he does it by using a Kamehameha wave, which even Roshi's just like, why are you doing that, Krillin? That's gonna take away all of your energy. And Goku's like, hey, why are you doing that, Krillin? That's gonna take away all of your energy. But he does it as a distraction in order to get Goku's tail. And we're like, oh no, Goku's one weakness. Tien now sees that. He's gonna abuse that and like destroy Goku. But then we find out that Goku got rid of that little silly weakness and all that. That was part of his training for 3 years. And it's like, oh, you got rid of your weakness. You got rid of the one thing that people could get you on. You got rid of that, Goku. That's awesome. And it's funny, and I'll touch base on it again when we get to Dragon Ball Z, but it's like, how did little 15-year-old Goku realize that, and yet adult Raditz didn't realize that to be like, hey, maybe he has to train my tail to be a little stronger so nobody can grab it and I lose all my power. Goku's just like, yeah, that doesn't work on me anymore, but good try though. Like, excellent job, Krillin. Then Goku just gets like super fast, and just from what the crowd think Goku just like surprised Krillin and hit him with one punch, but Tien's smarter than that. He realizes that we had 8 punches and a kick at light speed to destroy Krillin, to knock him out of the ring. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your semi-final matches, because now we're on to the finals. We have Goku versus Tien Shinhan, and the tension was building throughout, just even before the match starts, because we had like scenes with Goku in his hotel room, you know, getting ready as he does, which is not as intense as Tien getting ready, because like he enters like this full meditation state in his bedroom, and like, oh, the fight that ensues, my god. How do I even start? How do we even begin talking about this fight? Because like, it starts off just hot, just Goku and Tien just going right after each other. There's this awesome shot too, amazing shot, after Tien like knocks Goku down, and Goku's like going down, and he like hits through the stage and all that, and he jumps up and like does this little like spinning move, but like the way the camera shot, it's like kind of showing Goku going, and then as soon as Goku hits the ground, he like taps and goes straight for Tien, and it's so good, and like, the choreography going forward, it's top notch. This is what Dragon Ball is. Like, this is what Dragon Ball is. Whenever you think of fights, whenever you think of fight choreography, it is Goku versus Tien that always comes into my mind. I could go blow for this, but we would be here for far too long if I did that. We find out too that like Goku has what's called battle strength, which was kind of like what I hinted at too with like Goku versus Krillin. Just kind of started going super quick, super fast and all that, and beat Krillin within like a second or whatever. And that's Goku's quote-unquote battle strength, where like he's like, okay, I'm done kind of testing you, let's do this thing. And like, that's usually when Goku starts winning. But Tien's kind of the same way. He's kind of holding back too a little bit. So they keep going back and forth and all that. This doesn't sit well with Master Shen. Nah, he's not having any of this. And he's like, okay, look, Tien, you're failing now. Chiaotzu, it's your turn. And they start cheating. Cheaters. Even Goku calls them out on the cheating. Tien doesn't realize what's going on, because like Chiaotzu's doing like his little spell where, you know, he paralyzes the person, they can't move and all that stuff. So like, that's all going on. And again, Tien doesn't know what's happening, but then he finds out what's happening, because he sees Chiaotzu like having his finger up. And like Tien, he just loses it. He tells Shen to just basically fuck off and let him do his thing. But yeah, so Tien's mind starts crumbling here, and he's just like, I need to do this on my own. You need to go away. Like, I am done with you. And he admits to Shen, he's just like, look, I am not a killer. If I kill Goku, I'm going to lose this match, and that's not what I want. my pride won't allow me to do that. And Shen just having none of this. You are a failure. You are not defending my school. You are not defending me. You are not defending my honor. How dare you? You are done, Tien. I'm gonna mess you up. I'm gonna kill Chiaotzu here and now. And like, this is when Roshi's finally had it too. He's just like, boys, stand back. There's a Kamehameha wave coming through. Blast Shen to Kingdom Come. And finally, we get the face turn of Tien. It's not a complete face turn, mind you, but Tien is just like, look, we're gonna finish this our way now. I am done being Master Shen's little lapdog. I am done with all that. I am walking my own path. I am being my own person, and I am doing exactly what I want to do. And it starts with like kind of Tien letting Goku, hey, go ahead and hit me a few times, you know, get your licks in for what I did and all that, because I didn't know what was going on. And like, this is when the fight makes a huge turn, because now we get to see just exactly how good Tien is and just how much Shen was holding Tien back. This was on levels of when Vince McMahon left WWE and WWE was just like, all right, fine, you know what, we're done with you. We're done with like Kevin Dunn and all that in the back with production. They up their game, and so does Tien. He does this move where like he gets these Machamp arms now, so now he has 4 arms and just wailing on Goku. Goku even breaks out a freaking Boston Crab submission on Tien, and even with Tien with 4 arms, like even like grabbing Goku, choking him and all that, like, oh, it's still good. Oh, it's so good. Oh my god, I could go blow for blow for this whole entire match, but it's just like, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is just to talk about the story and the character work, which is also really freaking good. I am freaking out right now because it's just like, this is one of those times where it's just like, I highly recommend you just watch it and experience it for yourself, because it is done so masterfully well. It's just simple. It's the simple things in life that really make this so good. And so it gets to a point where like Tien, who can fly, like don't forget he can fly, so he can't really get knocked out of the ring. He ends up flying. It's just like, all right, Goku, you need to dodge this, because if you don't dodge this, you will die. This is where we get our first Tri-Beam Cannon. Oh, it's so good. And just like the lead up to it, like Roshi even says, he's just like, this is something that can rival the Kamehameha wave. Like, it's so dangerous, people could die from it. And, you know, Tien does a Tri-Beam Cannon. Of course, it's called Tri-Beam, but hey, we're gonna be destroying the whole stage. Okay, great. Where's Goku? Where's Goku in all this? Did he escape? Is he out of the ring? Well, he's actually way up in the sky. Yeah, he jumped. He like leapt all the way up into the sky. And Tien just casually goes up there. He's just like, all right, look, Goku, there's no stage left. I've effectively won. Like, there's nothing you can do now. And Goku, you know, being one up for the challenge, he's just like, nah, it ain't over yet. I still got one last trick up my sleeve. And we see just another instance. And like, that's another thing that's been happening in this whole tournament. The Kamehameha wave has been used not just as an attacking move. It has been used as a technique, as something to help you in battle. And Goku has done it yet again. He uses the Kamehameha wave as like a propulsion system to boost his way over to where Tien is. And he basically just headbutts Tien, and they're both just like falling. They're both like even for a bit. Even the ring announcer, who loves his job and very dedicated to it, busts out like a motorcycle, like a air bike or whatever, to follow the action and to see where they're gonna go, so that way he can get an accurate winner from this thing. So like, they're still falling. They're falling, and we're seeing like buildings and like cars going by and all that. And so Tien, he's, you know, below Goku, so he's gonna lose. And then all of a sudden, as they're like going by a road, they're almost on the ground. A truck comes by. It misses Tien, and it hits Goku. And Goku, like, when he hits the truck, he like hits it and immediately like bounces onto the ground, like almost like a ball, like wha-bam and all that. So like, Goku ends up hitting the ground first. He loses the tournament. He loses. the tournament. Oh my god, the emotion you feel when it happens. It's like, no, Goku had it. He was winning. He could have had it. And even Tien realizes, he's like, Goku, you would have had it. You had the win. But no, Tien got lucky and ends up winning. And like, you get this moment too, where like, Krillin, I'm trying not to get emotional because I know what happens after the tournament. I know what fucking happens after the tournament. Like, Krillin's like the first one to leave the entire arena to find Goku. Following behind him is like all of the crowd. Like, all of the crowd end up leaving the World Martial Arts Tournament. They end up causing like a riot in the streets. And like, they go to find Goku after hearing who won and all that. And you just have the whole crowd just like cheering both of them on. Like, you have this one bald guy like lift up Tien on his shoulders. It's like, I'm your biggest fan. And like these other people like lift Goku up, and like him and Tien share a handshake. And even Master Roshi's there. He's just like, I know you think you don't deserve this, and it's gonna be a little awkward for you to hear cheering. Get used to it, because this is how it feels. And like, why am I getting so emotional about Dragon Ball? Like, holy crap. Like, this is why I love the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament, because like, you see like Tien just kind of looking back and forth at people like, oh, this is weird. Why are people yelling and cheering and like happy around me? And like, again, Roshi just mentions, he's like, hey, get used to the cheering, because this is what it's like to be on the other side. Enjoy this moment, because the journey now starts here. And it's the end of the fight, and that's it. I mean, Tien tries to give his prize money to Goku, but I mean, they're not having it. They end up just using it for a feast anyways. And we do get an interaction with Yamcha and Tien, because again, you know, Tien did break Yamcha's leg, and we kind of see how, like, you know, Yamcha goes up and Tien's just like looking down, and he's just like, look, I'm sorry about your leg. I was a dick. I was a dick. And Yamcha, again, this speaks to Roshi's teachings too, like, as the turtle hermit, and like, just them as people too. Just like, Yamcha just looks at him, he's just like, hey, look, next time we'll have a rematch, and no broken legs, okay? They're friends now. They're good friends. So that was the tournament. I mean, again, it's like, it's really good. Like, when you're watching it and you're seeing these emotions and seeing like people going through all this, because that's the thing. This whole tournament is about Tien coming out. Like, it's about him finding the right path in life. And sometimes it takes a lot for us to find the right path. And it takes like either people giving us those hard questions, those hard things to think about, to really figure out who we are. Even still, like, we don't fully know who we are at the end. And just like Tien, he doesn't know who he is at the end of all this. This is the beginning of it. This is the start of his journey, and it could be the start of yours too. I just love this tournament so much, because like, it gets to this deep level with Master Roshi talking to Tien, and that's really like the meat and potatoes with all this. When you first watch it, it's just like, oh well, yeah, obviously, of course, whatever. But like, when you revisit it, and after you get a little older too, and you kind of experience life and all that, things like this hit a little differently after going through a few things and realizing that maybe there is another path to get where you want to be in life and all that. That's neither here nor there. Hey, we have to celebrate a good tournament. We have to feast and all that. And as soon as they get to the restaurant, Goku's like, oh, I left my power pole, I left my Dragon Ball back at the martial arts tournament. I need to go back and get it. And Krillin's like, nah, buddy, I'll go get it. And we get this moment here where Goku looks on at Krillin longingly, and like, the anime kind of does this well too, because like, no music's going on, but we get like a shot of like everybody just like looking on at Krillin. So Krillin goes, and like, later happens, he hasn't shown up yet to the feast, and everyone's starving, hungry and all that, and they're like, we can't wait any longer. So they start eating, but like, Goku says something crazy. He's just like, I'm not hungry right now, I'm gonna wait for Krillin. Like, Goku doesn't say he's not hungry. When he says he's not hungry and that he's not gonna eat, that means shit's about to hit the fan. Like, something's not right here. Something snaps in Goku, and he just like leaps from the table and he runs back to the martial arts tournament, and Krillin's body's just laying there lifeless, and the announcer's there. He says some monster came by and killed Krillin and took a Dragon Ball and a list of fighters. That's where we're leaving off here. That's where the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament arc ends for you. It ends with Krillin's first death, basically. Like, I was gonna say Krillin dies, but it's like, when you look back on Dragon Ball, Krillin's died like multiple times, but this is Krillin's first death. It hits really hard, and especially with like the fight that they ended up having, and just again the emotions that are coming forward and all. Again, overall, this is an amazing tournament arc, especially from like a character standpoint. I know like I didn't really go full on detail with a lot of things, but it's like it's really something I want people to experience on their own, like especially like this stuff with Tien, because again, like he was down the wrong path, and like he was lucky to have Chiaotzu around to keep him somewhat grounded. He still needed that extra push in order to go forward, but you know what? I'm gonna leave it there, because again, I want you guys to experience it, and I want you guys too to let me know down in the comments what you thought of the 22nd World Martial Arts Tournament. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know, and we'll have a nice little discussion about it. Be sure to like the video if it entertained you in any way, shape, or form, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as you know, I give you some content, whether that's an arc review, a live reaction, maybe gameplay videos. Who knows? You know, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and also check out all the links below to like the socials, to Anima W3 Studio stuff, you know, Weebs the Ring, all that stuff. And as always, people, I'm just gonna leave it there, and I've been your world champion, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.
I don't need you, better things are coming on the way. I won't hear from you at all.